Welcome to It Was All a Dream official podcast. I am Ashley Greggans. Hopefully you would have watched intro and part one, so you're going to kind of get a gist of who I am if you don't already know who I am. Now this is episode 2, part 2. So we are going to get right back into my story. And this is the last time, guys, that it's just going to be me. Because the next time we are going to have a guest on, which I'm so excited. So invites have gone out. So I am hoping that you have started to get your invite and you are game to come and just be a part of this podcast with me. So COVID had hit, and obviously I am not going to go into that shit show. No one needs reminding of that period in our life. But COVID had hit, and I had to, obviously we all had to close down. I was one of the people that it really did affect. I literally had to stay at home. Couldn't, how are you injecting lips when there's a pandemic? Even though there was a lot of people that was asking. So I had to come up with some ideas and some, how to make some revenue. I remember when that announcement come on, it was like, you have to stay indoors. Boom. I had £20 in the bank. It has been another life lesson. So since then, I've always had a safety net, and I've always had what I like. It's like an egg nest, except I'm just laughing to myself now because actually right at the minute, I haven't got a safety net because I've just put it all into this building. So let's hope there's not another pandemic hit anytime soon, please. Yes, so I had to come up with some revenue and I had to come up with some ideas, and I am one of them, put me under pressure. My quietest months, I'll make the most money because I just thrive under pressure. So we got Mother's Day vouchers produced, and it was like £150 for lip filler and a mesotherapy. They would purchase it now, they would buy they would get it whenever the Medispa opens back up. We were doing raffles, so everyone would pay £3 or 3 for whatever. And then they'd be able to pick a raffle, the number would get drawn, and somebody would win a treatment. I also was one of them unfortunate people that because I'd only been self-employed for a year, I wasn't entitled to the grants first of all. I think the second year it was, but the first year it wasn't. So it was some real tough times. I don't have to say it because we all lived through it and we all know. So the Medispa was short, and I started to do another fabulous idea was to do lockdown survival kits. So what happened is patients were messaging me all the time, and they were like, Ash, is there anything I can go and buy? Ashley, what can I use? I'm missing my facials. What can I go and get? And I was looking into, I obviously know skincare, but I use medical grade, so they wouldn't be able to buy it. So I was looking into some of the things, and I was like, God, the percentages of retinol is really low. I was quite shocked, to be honest with you, over the counter. So I've always had on the vision board. So I have told you before that I do sleep with a vision board next to my bed. I can see it every single night, and always in the little corner, little tiny thing was make my own skincare brands. That's always been there. And I just never knew how I was going to do it, why I was going to do it, where it would come about. But it was just in there. So I got these little travel sized bottles, and I created the lockdown survival kit. I'm sure some of you has purchased them, you little angels. And they was a cleanse, tone, exfoliate, little gold mask, super, super cute. And I was just in that 1 hour period of exercise outdoors. I was going and dropping them off at people's gates and posting out what I could. So they were going really well. I was selling them for £30, and I remember I was selling a lot of them. It was just such a gorgeous time, wasn't it? Everyone supported each other. Everybody was just how can we help? I always talk about there was certain patients and certain clients who would just message me, and they'd be like, Ash, I've put £200 in your bank. Just bank it for me for my Botox when I reopen. They knew what they were doing. Do you know what I mean? They knew I was not working. They would be, God, what was it called? for, I can't even remember what it was called now, but it was called something, weren't it, where you were still getting wages, but you'd stay at home. Can't even remember now. I'm sure you're all shouting it to the telly. Yes, so we created the lockdown survival kit, and it just had a little elegance sticker on it. So they were going really well, and then somebody put it on bargain bay for me. And we were selling them to like Scotland. I'm sure one went to London. It was just fabulous. And then this lovely man commented to say that he was going to report me to trading standards. Yeah, because it was highly illegal what I was doing. So if you don't know anything about cosmetics, I'm sure you don't, because I definitely didn't, like policies and laws, you absolutely cannot sell a bottle of moisturizer without the ingredients list on it, without like it's not animal testing, without instructions on how to use it, when does it expire, when you open it, it's just full on illegal. So he was absolutely correct in what he was saying. And still to this day, I wish that I knew that man, because I would absolutely thank him a million times over now, because it just sent me down this absolute rabbit hole. Me being me, I was just like, right, okay, that's very interesting. Let me just read up onto that. Let me just do that. Side note, this was also while through COVID, I was qualifying to be a teacher. So I done my MVQ in teaching education. So, and anatomy and physiology, pathology. So I kept myself busy. We keep ourselves busy over here. If I don't, I get sick. So I just always keep myself busy. So I went down this whole rabbit hole, and that's where cosmetology with elegant skincare was created. So I got in touch with a bioscientist. We got speaking. It just makes me laugh now, because I absolutely knew nothing about producing skincare. Like, I have learned so much from the school of YouTube. I have learned so much, and like now, obviously, I read up on cosmetic science books. I actually did nearly go back last year to be a cosmetic scientist, but in another lifetime, when I've got a little bit more hours in the day. But yes, so cosmetology with elegance was it was in the process of getting made. What does happen is, when you create a skincare, once you're happy with the formula, it has to go through 3 months of lab testing. So we were in the process of it. We didn't carry on with the lockdown survival kits, unfortunately, because we didn't want to be reported for trading standards. Now we knew that we were going to have an official skincare products. And sod's law, literally my products shipment come in the day that the Medispa was reopened. Sod's law. But in between all this happening, there was an opportunity so if you remember on episode 1, I did tell you about the West Derby, the big Victorian house, and I was just renting a little room. So an opportunity come my way where I could take the whole top floor. So I've always dreamt of having like a medi spa. At the time, that's what it was. I had like the tranquility room and stuff. So as the world started to reopen, like there was that little phase, weren't there, where we'd be allowed out for 3 weeks, we'd spread our germs, and then 2 days later we'd have to stay in for 4 weeks, and you just know what was going on. So as that, in that little phase, what we done is we decorated is the word, the whole top floor of West Derby, and it was the we called it the House of Elegance. That's what we called it. Gorgeous Olga, who was downstairs, here by Olga. She still had the salon, and then upstairs was 3 treatment rooms. They had my injectable room, I had a machine room, and I had the tranquility room. It was absolutely gorgeous. I bought new towels, new robes. We'd like rebranded. I'd got lip oils for when you've had your lips done with our logo on. We was ready. Like, we was ready. And I actually, my youngest brother gave me a loan of £5,000 to do that. So there's a little theme, isn't there? Our Stephen got me my first car. Our Sam loaned me £5,000, and our David, well, he snitched on me for being on the dark web. I shouldn't say the dark web. It was like little spells thing. It probably actually wasn't the dark web, but he snitched on me for that. No. We're a super close family, and we are so, like, we always just say it literally just goes on a loop. Like, it's like, Ash, have you got 500 yet? But then can you give me it back? And then can I have it? And that we just have this nice little loop. I have such a massive support system around me. Like, it's like, I'm never scared to fail, because if I fail, I've got so many people around me supporting me. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I'll just go back to dental nurse, and I loved it. I'm just nothing like that phases me. I'm just like, I think it's so nice because I'm just so willing to take risks, because it's never feels like I'm on my own. It's never my own risk. It's like the whole Brady Bunch's risk, as I like to call my family. Yes, so our baby, he loaned me £5,000, and I bought like new beds, new everything. Everything was fresh and new. The skincare like literally come in, so we were selling the skincare. It was just honestly fantastic. It was one of my most favorite times of my career. I was just thriving, like thriving. The money was rolling in. Everyone had not had any treatment done in 2.5 years. Like, my books, I was booked and busy. It was fantastic. There was this whole epidemic of people that had to now start going on Zoom. So people were coming in, they were like, Ash, like, I mean, I'm even doing it now from this podcast, to be honest with you. I have not ate sugar for 2 weeks, because on episode 1, I have got the roundest football head on it ever. So I have now cut out sugar, because I'm like, I used to have cheekbones. Like, I used to have a jawline. What is going on? So exactly what has happened to me on this podcast was happening to people. They were seeing themselves through Zoom, and when they was looking at the Zoom call, they were like, where does this line come from? Where is this? So we was super, super busy. It was great. It was like a lovely time. Everyone was happy. Like, the world had like reopened again. It was fabulous, wasn't it? So I did start what we called at the time EA training. So we called it EA training, and I did open it, but it just never felt like here, when you come in, you feel like it's a training facility. Like, you're like, right, this is where she's training. I've got the big board, the big projector screen. So you just felt it, where it always felt like, which there's nothing wrong with it. It's just me, just like, it always felt like you just come and sat in my clinic room with me, and it just didn't feel like I was going to be able to do group training and stuff. So I dipped my toe in a little bit with shadow days. Cannula training was really big, is still really big. Yeah, and we just started a little bit of the training. The skincare was going from strength to strength, but it still wasn't on TikTok at this time. We was on Amazon. So we'd gone on Amazon. I was selling them. It was mainly friends and family, which, fortunate for me, I have thousands of friends and family. So they was all just supporting me. Love yous loads. And then we decided to go on TikTok. So all through the pandemic, my mum was like, Ashley, you need to get on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. You could do face-to-face consultations. And I was going, I am not dancing on TikTok. I am 30, mum. Like, I am not going on TikTok. Like, why did I do that? Why didn't I just go on TikTok? I would definitely be a millionaire by now, but it's coming anyway. And then, so I had a little look into this TikTok game, because I was seeing like headline stories in the Echo, like, girls gone from kitchen on TikTok selling eye serum, eyelash serum, is now a millionaire. So I had a little look, and I was like, you know what, I could do this. This is like fun. It's like nice. It's not that deep. So we started to go on to TikTok, and I actually took a little tiny office which is facing the super build now. It's like the building facing. So I had me Medi Spa on the top floor of West Derby, and I had my little cosmetology with elegance office. Fantastic in theory, absolutely draining to drive from one place to the other. Like, me and Ella was exhausted. We would like run to the office. A shipment would come in, we'd run to the office. Then I'd have a patient in at 2 o'clock, so I'd have to run back. Then I'd have to come back. Like, honestly, like, that whole having 2 settings is just not for me. I'm like, I need to be settled. Like, I'm dead particular. I couldn't stand the traveling. I couldn't stand anything. But you do what you need to do at first. um Now, unfortunate enough, it's all underneath one roof, which I did always know was going to be the case, but we just had that little time in between. So we get on TikTok, and TikTok was super fun at the time. You could do all games and quizzes. Like, it's getting really hard. TikTok now, it's like TikTok is very dictating at the minute, and it's annoying me because, as we know, I don't do well with people telling me what to do. Like, I'm not an employee. So I feel like I work for TikTok at the minute, which is starting to be frustrating. But at the time, you could do spin the wheel, and I remember one night we got 26 orders in one night. Like, I remember the figure exact, and I phoned my boyfriend Ross, and I was crying. Like, I was like crying. I was like, this is it. We've gone viral. This is it, babe. 26 orders in one night. And then you just get them little dips. You get, like, then you'll do 10 orders, then you'll do that. And like, it still is very much like that. We're doing very well in the sales of Cosmetology with Elegance. One month it will be the website. Like, this month it was ridiculous. It was over 400 orders on the website. Last month it was TikTok. Black Friday was fantastic on TikTok. So it kind of dips in and out. But then 26 orders, I was like, here we are. I've made it. We're done. I like put my feet up. I've made my million. So everything was going fantastic. I was a qualified teacher. I had my own skincare brand, and I had my own Medi-Spa upstairs. My original plan was that I was going to extend downstairs and do a training academy downstairs once the lease was up. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out that way. The landlords wanted the building back, and we had about, I got told in April, and I had to be out in July. So we had 3 months to like move. So for me, I had two options, and still to this day, option one was probably more cleverer, but I went for option two. So option one was, you're established, you've got your name, go and rent a room in Rodney Street, rent one room, your outgoings will be £100 a week, something, whatever it is, £100. You don't have to have your own, you're established now. Ashley, being Ashley, was like, I will be there for 6 weeks and want to take over the Rodney Street. I will want the whole building within 6 weeks. So why you're even like tempting it? But there definitely is a place for that. And I always, you know, not everyone has to be as ambitious as me. Not everybody. And them people are gonna have more money than me at this point. Like, they are. Like, it's not like, sometimes I'm just like, I exhaust myself. Like, I promise you, I exhaust myself because I just think the easiest route, not, I don't even want to say the easiest route, because it's the smartest route, is to just keep renting someone's room, have your little room, rent the room, keep your outgoings like low, and just make a lot of profit. Like, but no, Ashley's option two was that she was going to renovate a whole warehouse. It was an absolute empty warehouse with sky beams, concrete floor, bare brick, completely empty. And I stood in the middle of it, and I was like, this is it. We're going to have a super build. Now, the super build comes from, because it sounds so cringy. Like, I know it sounds cringy. It's a little bit like an inside joke of my own. I'm not actually that cringy, but I am like one of the biggest P. Louise fans ever. Like, I am obsessed, not so much with the makeup or the products, but just with her journey and her story, and just the way she is. Like, she's just inspirational. If you don't know who she is, like, where have you been for like the past 5 years? But she's a girl from Manchester, and she set up her own makeup brand, and she got a warehouse, and she built I think she calls it her empire. I think that's what she calls it. It absolutely is an empire. It's like 72 times bigger than this. But so I'd been watching her do it, and I was like, that's the way you've got to go, because when you go into a building, there's always like, oh, I wish that door went that way, because then my bed would fit that way there. And with this, it was just like, right, I am literally going to start from scratch. Like when me and Laura, the nurse, she rents a room from me. When we done our first clinic day, she was like, Ashley, I feel like I've always been here. I feel so comfortable. And as an injector, you will know if you change the room, you feel it takes you a little minute. You're a bit out of sorts because you'd have your same angles and you'd have your same the beds where you put the patients and where. But I had designed this room so perfect that it was literally like, right, so you're gonna grab the micro needle and boom. So I need a plug socket there. Okay, so if we put the computers out the way there, it's not going to be in the way. The bed will be able to like everything was designed down to an absolute T. It is unbelievably stunning. It is one of the most stunningest clinics in Liverpool. I'm going to say it. It is. It is fabulous. If you haven't been down, then please come down. And it is going from strength to strength. It is one of the most craziest times of my life. Blood, sweat, and tears doesn't even go into it. Like it literally doesn't. I didn't know what that meant until we done this. I decided in the middle of renovating it that I was going to go to Glastonbury, which was just a whole experience in itself. The removal vans from West Derby was booked in the day I got back from Glastonbury. Sorry, the next day that I got back from Glastonbury. There's actually a video on this YouTube and you can hear it in my voice because I'm like showing, I'm like, fuck my life. And I've got no voice. So that probably didn't help. Yeah, and it's just my journey and my story has only just begun. Like, I'm not even joking. This is why I'm so excited for this podcast. I'm so excited. We've just relaunched the Cosmetology with Elegance. So we have changed the logos up. We've took my cosmetic nurse, Ashley Greggins, off. We don't need that no more. Like, I only put it on there because I wanted clients to know that it was mine. I'd created it. It was me. And I hadn't just bought a load of skincare and was selling it. But now it's going to like London. It's going to the UK. It's going to London. It's going to Ireland. It's going to Scotland. It's like TikTok is just like, it's phenomenal. And it is just only just starting. But yeah, we don't need Ashley Greggins on the packaging anymore. So Cosmetology with Elegance, Elegance Aesthetics and Elegance Aesthetics Training. So we are just the Elegance brand right now. So where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, so I am now 32. I'm 33 this year. By the time I am 35, I want to at least own 2 more properties. I'm not going to give too much away because I do believe very, very, very much in the evil eye. But what I want to do is I want to own properties all over the UK. And that's all I'm going to say. That is my generational wealth, even though I don't know who it's getting passed down to right now. All my nieces and nephews are going to be cashed in if I don't, if something else doesn't happen in the future. But yes, so 5 years time, I am hoping. So I always say by the time I'm 50, I am done. Like, I promise you, the day I turn 50, I'm retiring. Not to a point where I'm retiring where, like, I won't still own businesses. I won't still, hopefully by that time I'll have helped a lot of people to set up startups. I'll be investors in that kind of thing. But I am not doing this. I was just about to say 9 till 5, but let's admit it. It is now 7:45 and I'm still here in the night. So there is no 9 to 5 anymore. But I am not doing these scheduled hours. We've started doing seminars. So we have students coming in of a Saturday. Typical me, I've got your coffee cups, I've got your hot croissants, I've got it's just dead homely. So we started doing seminars. I can see myself doing them on big stages, speaking to hundreds of people. Why not? I mean, 224 people have watched episode 1, by the way. Guys, thank you so much. So why can't I just stand in a big room and speak to? So I want to do seminars, then properties all over the UK. That's where I I want to go and travel to. I'm going to go and teach. We've got so many plans, and I am so excited to just bring you along. This podcast is going to be one of the best podcasts in the UK. I'm going to put the UK for now. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening to my journey, my story. I promise you, this is the last time that you're going to have to listen to me. Next week, we're going to have guests on, which I am so excited for. For the guests who are looking to come on, we have sent invites out. I do want to let you know that you are going to get like a little few questions already like planned, and I'm going to send them to you, so you're not going to be put on the spot. I'm never going to do anyone dirty. If you say something you feel like, oh no, that it gets edited and it gets cut, so don't ever worry about that. It's just going to be a nice little space. Every time I come on and do this, I just feel like, you know what, I just really needed to offload that today. So thank you so much for listening to my story. It's been 3 episodes of me just speaking about me. It's been fabulous. But now is the time to get my guest on. So please do come and join. Don't let it flop. Don't let it flop and no one come on for me. Thank you so much for listening. And guys, there is 81 subscribers. We're dying to get to 100 by the time we've got guests on. So please do subscribe.